Huddle. Everybody get in the huddle. Are we ready now? We're here. We are live with Big Sister Sesh. And when I tell you it's been a couple of weeks, I feel like I start every single episode like that. And I made a conscious effort not to start this episode with a country accent, but I did, however, start it the same exact way anyway, which is, it's been a couple of weeks. I am trying my best. I'm trying my darndest to do it all in this one beautiful life, because if you're not trying to do it all, like, what the fuck are we even doing? What is it all for? You just want to live an average life. You just want to live an average life. And maybe that's okay. That's probably fine too. But right now, like, I'm just having an existential crisis about wanting to do it all and do it all and do it all. And there's not enough time to do it all. So that's what's been going on. I've been doing all the things, or trying to. And however, I have spread myself so thin, and also not at all. I could be doing more always. But this podcast is just so hard sometimes. Like, even though it's something that I'm passionate about, being able to yap and ad nauseum about something is fucking hard to do. And you have to be in a certain headspace to talk a lot and just have fucking thoughts about something more than a couple sentences. So the last time I recorded, which should have been for this week that's coming up, but we skip in because baby girl, prioritizing my mental health. I recorded a whole episode and I listened back to it, and I drank so much caffeine that day. I don't know why, but my tick that day was just saying like every fucking 3 seconds. Like, it was like, and I couldn't even listen to it while I was listening back to edit it. I couldn't even get through it. And I told myself I was going to listen to it again, and I just can't even bring myself to do that because it was literally so appalling how many times I was saying that fucking word. So I'm going to make a concerted effort to not say like in this episode. Take a shot if you hear it. Hopefully you're not too drunk by the end of this, because that's the point. And if you are drunk, you can message me personally and I will send you a $5 gift card or something. I don't know. Whatever. You know what I mean? So we're going to make a real effort here to speak like a literate human being instead of using a literal fuck ton of filler words. I want to eliminate the ums, because even not for podcasting, imagine I sounded like that at work. Imagine I have sounded. No. Okay, girl. Shh. Can you hear that dog barking? But yeah, it's actually mortifying to think that I've sounded that way at work. And I'm also gonna be hopefully up for a promotion soon. And if I say like a million times in the panel, I'm gonna eat a gun. I'm gonna eat a gun. So we're working on this for a number of reasons. Okay? Me venting about what? However, the last episode I recorded, which will never see the light of day, was all about me having ADHD and like going through the non-typical or like non-stereotypical traits of ADHD that like, fuck, don't drink. That one didn't count. The non-typical traits of ADHD that, like, just be okay with silence, you know. The non-typical traits of ADHD that are very much apparent for people who have ADHD, but are maybe not as evident to people who don't. And I feel like I have a bunch of them. So if that is interesting to you and you just want to hear me diagnose myself live, let a bitch know. But today, we're going to do something else because I've had a bit of a witchy encounter something. And I just want to talk about that because it's more topical and I feel I can talk about it. So how about that? How about them apples, bitch? This all started at my conception. Just kidding. Okay, I'm trying to like, no. I'm trying to steep my tea. One moment. Oh, that's nice. Also, this shirt random shout out, is my friend Corey Robinson. He's an artist based in Jersey, and he's cool. Check out his art. This is one of his OG shirts, like literally made when I was in college. I just said, like, I'm aware. Take a shot. That one counts. But one of his OG shirts, and I bet you it's going to be worth thousands of dollars in a couple years. So keeping this bad boy. I dug it up. We recently reconnected. I've known this kid since elementary school. I've known him for such a long time. But he's a really dope artist. Go check him out. Corey Robinson. What's his name on Instagram? Because my 3 fans will most certainly support. Fuck. I'll tag it or something because I have a whole blocking system on my phone and that'll take 2 minutes to get unlocked and then find his Instagram. But yeah, he's a really cool, I think it's like Corey J. Robinson. Sorry, Corey. But anyway, I'm going to try to have him on the podcast too and talk about what it's like being a fucking artist and shit. Okay. As I was saying, we're going to get witchy today. It's witchy vibes. That's how I feel. Okay. And this all started, I'm always witchy. First of all, we know this to be true, but I go through waves of feeling super witchy and not. And what I mean by witchy is not even like witchy. When I feel witchy, it's when I feel super connected to the universe and to God and to the angels and energies around us. I go through ebbs and flows of feeling super connected and maybe not. And I hate when I'm not connected. I always want to feel connected. But recently I went to Sedona, which if you don't know is a super witchy place. And me and my friend Julia got on the topic of telepathy and then mediumship. And that's where we are. So we're going to be talking about all of those things. But first and foremost, I'm going to talk about, what do I want to talk about first? I guess I'll just talk about what I experience. I'll first just talk about what I experience as, you're going to hear a lot of me saying the same sentence over and over. I'll try to edit it out, but it's going to be tedious. So bear with me, my sweet baby angels. I guess in the same vein of like when I say witchy and feeling witchy, it's when I feel super connected. And one of the ways that I connect is through meditation. I will see like symbols, not symbols, I'll see images of things, and it's kind of up to me to like interpret what they mean. Not only in meditation, but in breath work, mostly breath work. And another thing that happens to me is it's rare, but I'm trying to tap into it more, is I get, I don't know it's not like premonitory because it's happening, or no, they're kind of both. So I've had 2 kinds of dreams. One is premonitory, and it feels like deja vu, but I know it's not deja vu because I remember having the dream. Like I remember. What will happen is I'll have I'm going to use this one example because it's the only one I can think of right now. One of my best friends, Julia, has a brother with a little dog. And years ago, I had a dream that like I came over to their house and the dog had passed away and it was all sad and blah, 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 blah. And like sad times, the dog was dead. And a couple years ago, Jules texted me something about like her dog dying, and like for whatever reason I knew there was a circumstance in the dream that was the same as what she told me, and it feels to the typical person, you might be like, that's just deja vu, like you think something's happening and it's not. But it's not deja vu because I remember explicitly like having the dream and telling myself in my head that, oh, like, remember this, this is going to come up. Like, oh my God, I can't stop saying like, I remember having the dream and saying to myself, because there's a difference in my head of what dreams are going to become true or have the potential to have real life application, or what dreams are more just me dreaming. And I don't know why, but I can sort of differentiate the two when I wake up. And I find that the ones that are premonitory or whatever, I remember them versus the other dreams that I don't remember. Even with things like, even with things such as my life now. I don't know why, but it'll feel like deja vu, but I know it's a dream. And I can't explain it any further. Your Honor, I can't explain it any further. Let the record show that I'm at a loss for words for fucking once. The other kind of dream I have is more of a telepathy kind of thing. And I will have a dream about someone's current situation and I know to check in on them kind of thing. For example, one of my good friends, I had a dream that she was having a big like blowout argument with her roommates, we'll call them. And I texted her the next day. I'd never told her, this is not someone that I was at that time. We weren't super close. So that never came up in my dreams. But the next day I had texted her and I said, hey, I had a dream about you. Just wanted to check in and make sure you're okay. And she said, I'm not okay. And can I come stay with you? And I was like, yeah. So she drove 4 hours I think it was that day, or maybe the following day that she drove. I mean, within a day, this girl drives to me and she like unloads and it's all about how her and her roommates are in this huge fight for X amount of reasons and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, and I remember I still hadn't told her when she's telling me. And then at the end I was like, dude, like my dream was about your living situation and that you were having fights, like blah, blah, blah. And that's the most recent one. And that's a while ago. That was probably a year ago. But once in a while I get those like, and I feel like I can tap in, you know what I mean? I feel that there's that I can strengthen these abilities, which is something I'm focused on for the next year. So if I become crazy witchy woo woo, mind your business. Okay, so that's my experience. I'm a little bit witchy. I have a little bit of a something or other. I've also given readings to people that like they get so emotional and really resonate with them. And just some of them are just so fucking spot on. There's no other way to pin it. There's no other way to be like, oh, it's circumstance or chance or coincidence. It's not any of those things. It's literally like, bitch, you just read the future with my cards or whatever, or not the future, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I'm a little bit connected. I'm a little bit of a conduit or something. So just vibe with me on that. Why are you fighting me all the time? Okay. And we're rolling. Recently, I went to Sedona, which is apparently a super energetic place. And I did not know that going there. We had stopped into this like psychic store because we wanted to get our auras read, but they didn't have any availability that day. So instead, we got these reports done. It's like 30 pages. It's called New Age Woman Report, and you give it like all your birth information, and it literally dives into everything. And I'd say 95% of this resonates with me. There's a few things that like maybe they don't resonate now, and the thing is they don't know where you're at in your life. So some of these things could have been true back then. Maybe they're true in the future. It's that kind of thing. So you kind of have to just take some and whatever. But let's see if there's anything I wanted to touch on here. Like here are some of the things that are I don't know. I don't know if they're just like not like in my head, these are specific enough that I'm like, that's me. Like they're not just saying that to anyone, right? So one of them is One of your missions in life is to teach others to love. You will work for love and happiness. Your personal pride will teach others that true love begins with oneself. Your positive and optimistic attitude will show others the way to accomplish things. I resonate with that so fucking hard. My idea for this podcast is to be able to find a group of women that like fucking we all just vibe, and I host energy healings and we grow and heal and like really truly, I don't know, it's still in conception right now, but for me it's all about teaching women to love themselves. This was another phrase that just got me. You have the strength necessary to recreate yourself over and over again. I've already done that. I've done that 2 or 3 times already. Like when I left high school, I had such a, I don't even know how to describe it, but in high school, I was very much this one way, and it was crazy, going down a weird path, blah, 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 blah. High school or college, I became an entirely new person. After college, I got into that relationship, and after I left that relationship, I became an entirely new person. And I've moved over and over again, and I literally feel nothing about it. To me, it's no big deal. I mean, now it is. But in the past, like, I'm like, no problem. I'll pick up my bags. I'll move. No problem. I'll create a whole new life for myself. I can create a new support system that's never, ever, like when I studied abroad too, like some people just won't move because they have all these people here. And I don't know. It's just never been I don't know. But that one hit home too. This was another thing that just made me, okay, so here's where the witchiness all begins to connect. So other than the fact that it said a bunch of things that resonate with me, there's this one part where it goes through your relationships, like romantically and stuff like that. And at the end of going through all of the relationship stuff, it says, all relationships are perfect. Each situation you experience with another person is the perfect or necessary one for your evolution. Because of this, it's important that you don't cling to negative emotions such as anguish, depression, fury, frustration, etc., and that you try to see at every moment what life wants to teach you. Each person you know has a message for you, and until you listen to it, it is highly probable that it will be repeated. Some relationships have karmic ties. They've been initiated in other lives, and there may be dues to pay. It's possible that what someone makes you suffer is what you have done to him or her in another time. This is why you must forgive and forget. In every situation, repeat to yourself. In every situation, repeat to yourself, everything is perfect. Though at the beginning you may not understand it, later it will be crystal clear. Crystal clear. And this is something that I've kind of always felt in my heart. And when I reflect on the bad things that have happened to me, I'm never like, why did this happen? Like, there's literally no reason for it. Every single bad thing that's happened to me, I can see had a purpose in my life to teach me something. Even stuff at the time that I was like, what the fuck? Like when I was in an abusive relationship, I couldn't fathom why this was happening to me. And when I got out, I realized, and after, putting in work, I realized what a gift it was to experience that relationship and become the person that I am now and like know what I know now. I'm so glad I know what I know now after experiencing that. And amongst other situations that have been bad and have taught me something, nothing bad happened. Like even the most absurd tragedies, like your child dying, like just taking off my socks. We're getting campy. As I'm talking about people's children dying, which is so cool and not sensitive of me. But even people's children passing away in like some crazy tragic way, or like an illness, like everything, like it seems unfathomable. Like, why the fuck is this happening? But it truly has lessons for us to learn. And that might sound like maybe insensitive, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just ignorant, but that's what I think. And so that statement, the everything is perfect, is what brings me to my next witchy thing of like kismet craziness, which is this book that my friend gave me, which is called The Light Between Us. And it's by this psychic medium. And she's just like explaining her life and how she came to understand her abilities and all of these crazy stories that she's had because of it. And I mean, I'm not going to go into so much detail, but you know, she basically says the same thing of everything happens for a reason. There are no coincidences in this world. Ask for signs and you will see them. There is light that connects us all. Like your loved ones aren't gone when they pass, they are still here with you. And if you ask to see them, they will show themselves. And in the first couple chapters of the book, it felt a little repetitive. And I was like, all right, dude, like, chill the fuck out. But once I got to the end, it was really beautiful to be hearing about these stories and how they impacted people. And it just made me feel more certain that I am connected and we are all connected and we are all these beautiful beings of light and everyone is someone's child and everyone is a child of God or whatever, the universe, whatever you believe in. We are all made up of the same fucking stardust, bro. Like, and it made me reflect on the homeless and how we just have zero fucking like people, good people will just ignore homeless people on the side of the road because you're scared they'll ask for something or like whatever. And that's a human being that's being snuffed all the time. And I don't know why I just brought that up, but just having immense compassion for people and like everyone's going through something and we're all connected. And I don't know what the fuck else to say on that. I don't know, but I'm also gonna make a point to just be nice to homeless people. I don't know. That was a weird random thought with that, I guess. At the end of this book, one of the last stories, I won't spoil the story, but she asks for a sign from the other side, is what she calls it. And she has what she describes this team of light that works with her or for her on the other side. And it's, you know, spirit guides and blah 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 blah, like people, her loved ones that are on the other side that help her. And she asks for one of them, or she asks for them to show her the word angel, or like let her hear the word angel in the next couple of days to like validate an experience she had. And in that moment, she turned on the radio and a song, blah, 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 angel, with the word angel in it came on. And she was like, nah, that's coincidence. And then later calls a doctor's office and the doctor's like, blah, blah, blah. Or like the VA, the assistant was like, this is Angel. How can I help you? And she was like, no fucking way. And in that moment, I said to the universe, universe, for no fucking reason, the name Monica popped in my head. I don't know anyone named Monica. I know one girl named Monica from my childhood who I haven't talked to in literally 10 years. I don't follow her on social media, nothing. I don't know anybody named Monica right now. I don't follow anybody named Monica. I like literally. And I said to the universe, universe, show me or let me hear the name Monica. And that's all I said. And then a couple hours later, this was yesterday, I finished that book. I said that in that moment. I forgot that I even said it. And then a couple hours later, I was on Instagram and I only follow like 400 people, which isn't that much. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's that much. And I'm on this girl, her stories. Her name starts with a K. And I'm on her stories and she's posting, congrats, Monica, for like a birthday post, or no, it was like a bachelorette party or something like that. But congrats, Monica, tagging this girl, Monica. And I was like, yo, that's fucking crazy. Coincidence? Perhaps, but I think not. I think that is just like, I don't know. To me, that feels super crazy and just a sign to me. So I've been feeling particularly witchy. All of this is to say that I'm a witch. And you are too. So yeah, I've been feeling particularly witchy, and my idea for this episode was to read my cards on film. On film. Live. Live. Coming from you live. It's Saturday night. But my idea was to read the cards and set an intention here. It is about to be a new month for me. Right now it's March 31st. So I figured this could be like an intention kind of thing. Does that sound okay? I feel like that's fine. Okay. Sorry if it doesn't sound fine. I feel like it does though. So my idea was to do this energy reading or this monthly card spread. I'm not going to do a whole 7-card spread because that'll literally take me half hour. So I'll just do like a 3-card spread and we'll see what the cards have in store for me. Maybe we'll catch something cool live. Oh, and the last witchy thing that I'll say that's happened to me is when I give these, last month I did readings for my friends, and beforehand I went to the store and I bought a bunch of stones. Like I was selective about them and I picked them out and then I wrote what their meanings and like what their capabilities were on a piece of paper. I folded up the piece of paper and I put them all in these bags so they couldn't see what the stone was, what it said, and I just had everybody pick a bag at random. And for I can't remember, but for at least one of them, I wrote which chakra it aligns to. So one of the stones was citrine. It aligns to your sacral chakra or maybe your solar plexus. I can't fucking remember. But I pulled out that chakra card for the girl who picked that stone, which I thought was fucking crazy. So I'm just saying the universe works in mysterious ways. But I always like to have tea when I'm giving a reading or like a warm beverage. I just feel like I need that. And then I light my candles. So you can't really see what I'm doing down here, but I'll hold everything up. But I just lit this candle for ambiance. It's my candle. It's called George, and that's my boyfriend's name. And it just makes me happy to have that. And then I'm lighting this candle. A purple candle is connection to spirituality. And since I've just been feeling this kind of, or like connection to a higher power, rather. And since I've just been feeling this way, that's kind of what, I don't know, I maybe want this reading to be about. But we'll see what I think of when I ask. But I light a candle as an offering to the gods, angels, energies, and universe. And I let that shit burn. I've had these cards too since I was, I think, 14 or 15. And maybe 15 or 16. But it had to be at least, the oldest would be 16. And so that's, a decade of using these cards on and off. I didn't always use them. But I just feel like the length of time that you have cards too kind of matters because it gets your energies on them. So I really love this deck. And it's the only deck I have. But the first thing I do is I set my little intention candles here, which you can't see now, sorry. But then I try to tune in and I first clear the energies on the cards and then I ask for clarity or something, clarity on something, because you can't really ask yes or no questions. So you have to just kind of ask general, not general, but they can't be yes or no questions, basically. It has to be able to elaborate. And even then, sometimes the universe will jump in and just give you what it wants you to hear. Okay, y'all. I've got the tea. So I asked for clarity on the month ahead, what to focus on, what to avoid, if there was a situation to avoid or something to look out for. So basically just what to focus on, what I just fucking said. Hey. The first card is the Healer of the Ages. And this card was actually both of these cards, Healer of the Ages and the Magician in the Mirror, were both focusing on spiritual power and tuning inward, and just knowing that I have what I need within me. The third card was the happy family card. It basically said, like, don't overlook the importance of social connection, which I tend to do when I'm stressed out, is I stop hanging out with people, and like to really prioritize those connections. And 8 was the indecision card, which says that I have indecision about like something and I need to really just focus and get clear. And then the last card was also saying that. So this is the 6th chakra archangel, reversed. And basically that said, I need to really get clear, and like define my path, define what I want my life to look like and how I want to feel, and like act on that shit. These are interesting to me because in the last couple weeks, or really months, I've spoken about it too. I've just felt like a lack of direction, a lack of leveling up. And right now I have this opportunity to level up in a couple different ways, and I'm just not doing it, basically. Like I'm lacking the willpower and the organization and the personal habits needed to do these things that I want. And what I'm getting from this is like, I have everything within me, and that's the indecision. I feel like that indecision is keeping me stuck on like, I'm mulling over all of these things and I think I just need to do. I just like these 2 cards are saying I have it within me to do it. I'm just not, I don't have the personal execution, the personal power to execute within me. And with this card telling me to get clear, it's something that I've known I need to do for weeks now. And I just haven't been doing it. I haven't been biting the bullet. The happy family card is a little bit, so when it flipped over, I was like, did I flip this over but I put it down anyway. Whether or not I'm going to like, take whatever with a grain of salt. But I do tend to, when I'm stressed out or like want to accomplish a bunch of things, I'm like, people out, me in, like lock in. And I think this might, whether or not it's a floozy, I'm going to remind myself that my friendships and my sense of community is something that I've always prioritized, and I need to keep prioritizing that, because that helps me stay grounded. Even when I'm wanting to lock in, it helps me lock in harder because I have those like beautiful connections in my life. It also says that there's a birthday or a celebration. I just remembered this, that there's a birthday or a celebration coming up. And I do have a huge celebration for Easter, which isn't technically a birthday, but it's a rebirth of sorts. And maybe just look out for that. I don't fucking know. But overall, I do feel like, for me, I don't read my cards so often because a lot of times it will just tell you the same things over and over again. Like if you're not doing shit, like you can't read your cards every week unless you're maybe asking about like really specifically different things. I want to take a picture. Hold up. So I can remember that. But what was I saying? Fuck. ADD. Like, yeah, you can't ask the cards. You can't talk to the cards all the time. And I feel like these still aren't like super monumental to me because it's things that I've known and I've read my cards in the last couple months. And I've just been feeling this way of like stuck. Okay, I'm back on the like train and we need to dial it in. I was doing good there for a second. But yeah, I don't feel like it's telling me anything I didn't know. It's good to hear it again. I'll do one more card. So this brings like a new meaning to the cards. And whether this is just me making something of nothing, mind your fucking business. But now what the cards are saying, these two cards were kind of like, in my head, I said like, kind of like a summary, like wrap up what these other cards said. And it kind of brings a new meaning to them, where the yin and the yang card is saying, this is a time of receptivity, intuition, being more than acting. And the sun says, like, the sun is saying, blessings to you, new life in the spring. Hey, it's spring. New time for you, new beginnings, divine inspiration, and personal growth. So now what I feel about these cards is like, I have everything within me. And I feel like maybe the reason I'm not leveling up is because I need to reflect and be, and like that will come in time, and it's not such a rush of things. I think I need to reflect and be and carve out like what I want it all to look like in order for it to happen. Does that make any fucking sense? It does to me, bro. And I don't know if I'm just making sense of nothing, but it's what it says to me, and that's all that matters. And maybe it's going to help me reflect on my life and be a better person. So shut up. Anyway, thank you, cards. Thank you, God, angel, energy, universe, and freaking everyone else out there who's doing the damn thing for me. I love these cards, yin yang and the sun. I'm so glad it ended on a good note. But yeah, that's how I make sense of things. If you ever want a reading, hit me up. Yeah, that's basically it. In summation, I'm a witch. I read cards. Connect to your spirit guides and your team of light, and they're all here for you, and we all love you. And kisses. Bye.